I wanted to first start talking a little bit about the lows of my new grad journey so that we can end with the highs. I wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about what my experience has been like and share some advice and just any type of tips I have that have helped me so far. So, I graduated May 2022 from my nursing program. Halfway through my program was when COVID hit. It was literally my spring semester of my sophomore year when we were about to start clinicals and we never went back to school until senior year. I feel like as a new grad nurse, even more behind and at a disadvantage because of all of the opportunities that I missed due to COVID. All of the things I never got to see or do because our program drastically had to change to accommodate. Thankfully, it really did work out to where we were all able to graduate on time and we weren't, delayed in graduation per se, but we were definitely just at a disadvantage, unfortunately. I know that so many people have trauma from their experience from COVID and, have lost loved ones and have seen loved ones suffer and get really, really sick. Everyone has been affected by COVID in one way or another is what I want to say. And I never want to take away from the fact that there are people that have definitely been much more negatively affected than I have. I do want to just kind of put that disclaimer out there because my heart and my mind definitely goes out to those people always. It's something that is still in the back of my mind, something that with time we'll just continue to reflect on. The point is that I feel like not only am I a new grad and not only am I new to bedside nursing at all, I'm also in a specialty unit. I'm in labor and delivery. As you all know, being a new grad comes with its own insecurities and trials and tribulations. So to have some of the lack of experience I have kind of layered on top of that is really interesting. To give you guys an example, something that I am still learning to manage at work is something as simple as the IV pulls and knowing how to manage and work the pump and making sure that I'm not making any selection that I'm not supposed to be making. Maybe that's just all new grads. Who knows? You guys let me know how you guys felt as a new grad, whether you graduated through COVID or not. I'm really grateful to be working on a floor where I do have a lot of support and a lot of people are looking out for me, and I really do believe that there are a lot of people that have my best interest at heart when they work alongside me and when they give me opportunities to do more or when they answer any question that I have. I really do appreciate that because it's scary walking into a new grad position, and the last thing that I would want to deal with is toxicity in the workplace or nurse bullying or anything like that. So thankfully I'm on a floor where everyone's so sweet, always willing to help, and I've learned so much from my preceptor. I'm so grateful for her. For those of you who don't know, as a labor and delivery nurse, you're kind of playing multiple roles. You are not only the labor and delivery nurse, but you're also a postpartum nurse because we get floated to mother baby in my hospital at least. But even in the short period of time that we're recovering our moms that have just delivered, we're basically a postpartum nurse there. On my unit, we also get placed as transition nurses, which is a position within itself. It's, I think, more commonly known as a newborn nurse or a nursery nurse, which is the nurse that helps transition babies when they're born for their first few hours of life. That is really stressful for me because, I'm used to working with adults, but I'm not used to working with newborn babies. But I do love it. I feel like I have a sweet spot for it. I have some tenderness for it, and I could definitely see myself going down the newborn nursery or even NICU route at some point. But for right now, I'm learning all these different roles, right? And we also see a little bit of antepartum when we have our patients come in as antepartum patients. The hardest part for me is just remembering all of the little details. I'm almost at the end of my orientation. I am in a nurse residency program, so I'm feeling definitely a lot more comfortable with the overall gist of things. But what's interesting about labor and delivery is that you can get so many different types of cases day to day, like shift to shift, I should say. You know, you could get a patient that's an induction and you're kind of getting her set up and brought in. You could come in and have a patient that's literally about to deliver. You could come in and have a patient that's still in their recovery phase after a C-section. You could get a C-section. Like, there are just so many things. And I am learning how to be the best prepared in each role or each assignment that I get. I also really love the other new grad or the other residents that have started either a little bit before or after me, because we all get along so well and we're all going through the same thing. So it's nice to have the girls to talk to and share experiences with and learn from, because like we're all having slightly different experiences with, you know, our preceptors and just the cases that we get. I have one more week of orientation and then I'm by myself. I'm really excited because everyone's been reassuring me that I'm not gonna just be like thrown to the wolves. I'm definitely gonna have that support no matter what. If I need something, I'm not gonna be expected to know everything. And I think that that's probably the best piece of advice I would have. If there's anything you could take away from this video, it's to not be so hard on yourself. Like, be gentle with yourself. Yes, challenge yourself and push yourself to be the best nurse you can be, but at the same time, understand that you're still learning. And even the nurses that have been in it for years and years are learning every day. Yeah, I think that that's probably the best piece of advice. I've really had to learn through this journey how to not let myself settle and be mediocre while still being gentle, accepting what I can't control, reminding myself to ground myself and to always question why I'm doing what I'm doing. Something that I really liked that I saw on YouTube, Sierra Lynn, she's a new grad as well. If you guys don't watch her videos, I would recommend you watch them. They're really great, and she seems like such a sweet girl. I remember I watched a video of hers where she said that she got really good advice from a nurse on her floor, and she's in the ER. So, you know, a pretty crazy floor. The person basically told her that you can always make the time to be a safe nurse. Because something that we hear a lot is that we don't have enough time in our day, that we always feel like we're super rushed, we're thrown in like a million and one directions, we can never take a breather, whatever it is. And while that may be true sometimes, your patient safety is your number one priority. So if you're ever in a position where you're so overwhelmed that you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing, that's when you need to take a moment to step back and ask yourself, okay, why am I doing this? What are my priorities? Like, what needs to be done right now? Who are my more critical patients? What is something that I could be doing right now to, you know, get ahead of any requests or get ahead of charting? Like, it's honestly, I think, just the little things, like trying your best to stay as organized as you can and sit back and think, okay, what can I be doing right now to make my day go smoother? What can I be doing to help my patient? What can I offer to my patient to make her feel better, more comfortable, whether it is pain medication or literally just sitting down and talking to the person? That is something that I'll always go back to. You always have time. You can always make the time to be a safe nurse. Nursing is really hard, not only physically, but mentally as well. And when I'm with my patients in that room, I feel like we're one. Like, I feel like we're family. Like, I'm rooting for them, taking care of them, supporting them, and any, like, whatever that looks like to them. So anyway, I kind of wanted to start off with that. I'm also still kind of learning and figuring out how I like to schedule myself. Of course, the schedule needs to be balanced, and you may not always get your perfect schedule the way that you wrote it in the scheduling book. It is nice to work only 3 days a week and have 4 off. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, I don't know if I like to do 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, or I don't know. I just have to see. I mean, I love my job. I'm really, really happy, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. And I know that this experience is definitely going to build my resume and just build my overall critical thinking skills, the experiences I have, the kinds of skills that I get to perform and really get comfortable with. Vaginal exams, one of those things I'm still working on. I'm not expecting myself to be perfect at it. Like, I still have mishaps and I hear from other nurses, even the nurses that have been in it for a long time, that sometimes they can have mishaps too, because it's subjective. Things happen. If you're in L&D, if you're in the L&D world and you're still practicing your vaginal exams, it'll get better. You know, when I'm nailing it and I know exactly where I'm at, that's backed behind me by my preceptor or another nurse, it's a good feeling. So it's just one of those things that takes time. All in all, it all just takes time.